Hey guys, it's Romulus here, and today we're going to be looking at the year-end list of Billboard's year-end Hot 100 for 2018, and ranking all of them on the 0 to 5 scale, 0 being god-awful, 1 being bad, 2 being below average, 3 being above average, 4 being good, and 5 being great, as always. Now this one, it's going to have a general lean towards the negative side since 2018. It was a pretty bad year for mainstream music, at least. It wasn't so bad for alternative music and underground music, but overall for 2018 this year is going to tend to be more negative compared to 2017 or even 2015. So let's kick it off with what they consider to be the last entry point, the cutoff, the 100th most popular song of the year. And what was it? So originally, I was going to put this song at a 0. I thought it was genuinely god-awful and was the same towards most of Imagine Dragons' other songs. But then I listened to their live version, and it somewhat clicked for me. Yeah, this version is god-awful, as you can tell. The reason it clicks for me, though, is because the chorus of this song I now understand. In the actual version, when he's going up an octave higher, it actually sends the painting shrill and power that you're supposed to have when you're trying to make this type of powerful sort of pop anthem. But when you're doing it live and he can't actually hit those notes and has to go down to the lower octave for him, it just doesn't have that same energy. I did not get this song for the longest time, and the original version was completely awful for me personally, but then once Beyonce was on the remix, it actually clicked, because Beyonce can just bring that energy of making bad and weird lines, like giving on these haters because I'm fertile. She just makes them work somehow, and the GOAT beat, while the sample was questionable, it does somehow click after drilling into your head for long enough, so it is somewhat decent. I might get some scorn for this opinion. Trust me, I think Dua Lipa is good and all, but she's getting pretty overrated pretty fast, just because we have a shallow pop scene right now, and she's one of the only people to dive into that territory. I've heard this song in particular compared to a classic Pink song, and that simply is not true. Here, there isn't that much passion behind her or the instrumentation due to the weak guitar riff that Pink in those songs had swell and power behind her aggressive voice that leaned into rock territory, and Pink isn't falling into that. Still, the lyrics are pretty good here. I'm so glad Sway Lee left Ray Shremmer, because he and the beat are the only good parts of this. I'm one number away from calling you. I said I was through, but I'm dying inside. Got my head in a mess. Girl, I confess I lied when I said I'm leaving. A mostly forgettable, but still somewhat good country song, which is pretty good because we're getting finally rid of bro country once and for all. If you ever love me, have mercy. This one just hits me right in the heart, and not the way it's supposed to. This just hurts because Brett Young can do so much better. Last year, in 2017, he had an amazing hit with In Case You Didn't Know, and his follow-up was this. It's just pathetic. Baby, I don't understand this. You're changing, I can't stand it. I'm going to put in as much effort into making this comment as all parties involved put in making this song. Daddy Yankee may be the only reggaeton artist that I actually understand, and because he is the only one who actually seems to be having fun in these reggaeton songs, and just for that I can appreciate his charisma and ignore some of the questionable instrumentation. Think that I'm done tripping, I'm tripping, I've been sipping, that's how I can try. Literally the exact same song as Boot Up, just done slightly worse. Tryna hide from the camera, I ain't going outside today, couldn't find that tape, so I'm drinking on egg today. Good news is is that it looks like this guy's going to be a one-hit wonder. Bad news is that this guy actually got one hit to begin with. I don't get reggaeton. Whenever I finally get tired of Maroon 5, they always put out one hit that keeps me hooked for at least another year, and this is it. So hopefully they don't do anything good in 2019 so I can finally abandon them after that god-awful Super Bowl performance. Oh my god. This is an X song which I can somewhat understand the appeal of, because that beat, there is something to the clinginess of that beat and how shiny it is, but at the same time it feels half-baked, so hopefully someone in the future will take this and sample it and make some good use of it. Otherwise this is just a normal X song.
Get along down the road, we got a long, long way to go. Scared to live, scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try.
Still better than Bro Country.
I'm upset. 50,000 on my head is disrespect.
It's one of Drake's scummiest songs ever, but there's one god-awful line that's so bad it's good that kept it out of being completely trash.
You tryna check? This is real life. Niggas think we playing chess.
Everybody says say something, say something, say something, say something, say something, say something.
I'm really glad the only good song off Man in the Woods was the only hit to be in the Hot 100, but Chris Stapleton is a bit underused here, so I can't fully endorse it, but otherwise it is still a good song.
I don't wanna be alive. I don't wanna be alive. I just wanna die today. I just wanna die.
Way too controversial for me to talk about the actual substance, but I'll just say the sound is actually pretty good.
I get it how I live it. I live it how I get it. Come the motherfucking digits. I pull it with a lemon. Not cause she ain't living. It's just your eyes get acidic.
This is probably the weirdest song out of all 100 of these, but it is just pure fun, and I have to respect it for that. Pharrell really is a blessing, as you'll see later on.
Just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be.
Florida Georgia Line going from releasing Meant to Be with Baby Rexha and then releasing this song 8 months later is proof that country is heading in the right direction. I really don't get reggaeton.
Lately, I've been thinking. I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier.
This doesn't deserve to have peaked higher than Pompeii did, but it still is a nice song, and Marshmello is very underrated. Hoping Doomsday comes out very good.
I made 500,000, I freaked it. I bought an 87 for the weekend.
Slap on me now. So call out my name.
I usually like really heartfelt ballads like this one, but for some reason it isn't clicking with me. I think it might be The Weeknd himself, because he just does not do well on these types of songs, like including The Hills, because his higher register is usually supposed to be fun and exciting, not heartfelt, and just comes out as pissy on this song.
We can do anything if you put a mind to it. Take your whole life, then you put a line to it.
Even though it breaks when Halsey tries to do the chorus and her voice just gets way too airy, this is still just pure radio filler, and I loved it. It's one of the reasons I'm starting to shift back to the radio after 2018.
Yes, she wanna get married, but she don't wanna marry me.
Thomas Rhett going from releasing one of the worst country albums of the decade to making this beautiful, epic song is proof that the direction of country is heading in the right direction. Finally, someone who is actually using their star power for good and bringing in someone who is actually good as an underling into the mainstream. Just like how in Star Wars, Han Solo trained Luke Skywalker as an underling.
Ride with the mob, hamdulillah.
While there are some elements to the clunkiness of the beat that I admire, A$AP Ferg's lyrics just are scrambled and scatterbrain-janed everywhere, so it doesn't make any sense to me.
Put 'em up if you with me, yeah.
Why was this made?
You get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it.
This is just a standard trap song, so I guess I'll just mention how Migos took over this song like it's a Latin American democracy or something.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do.
Ed Sheeran sounds cute on this, but he doesn't sell the sexy vibe that he needs to pull off this song. Plus, with the Rihanna-inspired Cheap Thrills type of clunking beat, it does not help purvey the sentiment that the song is trying to go for. And frankly, this does not deserve to be within the top 10 most listened to songs of all time in America.
You make it easy, love on you.
Jason Aldean having a year-end Hot 100 hit is proof that country is heading in the better direction. Plus, that guitar solo is just amazing.
I'm gonna make it.
One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities. I look like all you need.
It's not as good as a follow-up to Slide from last year, but it still is a serviceable piece of disco funk pop from Dua Lipa and Calvin Harris. He really has improved a lot.
Young, dumb, and broke. Young, dumb, and broke.
I have a lot of respect for Khalid, since every song he makes is either a 3 or a 4. He's just that consistent. On here, it seems to be on the lower end of the Khalid spectrum, though, mostly because at the end of the chorus, he does have that weird chipmunk auto-tune falsetto thing where he's just squawking, and that is off-putting, but still, Khalid is pretty good, and he has plenty of other hits on this year-end list that you should check out.
Turn the lights, turn
2018 was such a bad year in mainstream music that Nash decided to return, and proved once again that we don't need him.
How long has this been going on? You've been creeping around on me while you're calling me baby.
I'm not quite sure I like the theme and the sentiment Charlie Puth is portraying in the song, but the song itself and the instrumentation is just phenomenal, especially on the second pre-chorus.
Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry.
Vocal breaking seemed to be a reoccurring theme, as once again Demi Lovato just has the weirdest vocal fragments during the chorus where she's trying to scream and be bombastic, but instead it just comes off in an epic failure, in my opinion.
Big bang, tight, low bang, bang. Big bang, tight, low bang.
Big Sean and YG are actually somewhat tolerable on this, but Nicki Minaj and Big Sean just do not have their usual A game on this track. I'm blaming DJ Mustard on this because he's just bringing these clunky club boom beats that aren't even uplight that Nicki Minaj and Big Sean can't vibe off of. So DJ Mustard, 9 out of 10 times you are actually pretty god-awful at making music.
You believe God is the one.
This is literally just if Mariah Carey sang like a prayer.
Your bitch want party with Cardi. Cardi a body in a Rari.
It's been less than a year and this song is already aged awfully. I originally had this song to be on my top 10 best hits list, and then it just fell off after I realized this was just a retread of another version of a Selena song from last year, which is a recurring theme also on this year-end list.
But I hope you get what you dying for. Be careful with me.
I'm sorry, Cardi, but you can't really sing, and I recommend you don't do that in the future, even if you are talking about how bad Offset is as a person.
Wait, can you turn around? Can you turn around? Just wait. Can we work this out? Can we work this out?
I'm really frustrated that they chose Wait over Best For You for their first post-album single. Like, Best For You is by far the best song off that album, so you should have gone with that instead of this.
Hey, blow up. Plug. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk.
Another dishonorable mention trap song.
Niggas envy, Blicky got the stiffy,
This is probably the last video where I have to mention this guy since he's going to jail forever.
That little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes.
Now that Cardi B's partially dominated the year of 2018, we can now look back at her first smash single and realize that it's not as good as it's been cracked up to be.
I don't know how heaven could be better than that.
This is just a standard country song, and it's only that high because Kane Brown's voice is amazing.
This a rolling, not a stop. Watch shit don't never stop.
After doing this list, I've come to the realization that Nice for What definitely blocked all of my criticisms of Drake during 2018, and that was unfair, because songs like this just are trash.
Get down!
By far and away the most culturally impactful song of the year.